All right, so welcome to our team call. I am so excited to have Haley lead her first ever call for us. For those that are unaware, she was our top coach of the December with 47 Success Club points. So that's insane. A little do you know, I'm pretty sure she was one of the top Success Club point earners amongst the network. I got to see some of the other top coach numbers, and Haley blew them out of the water. So I just love Haley. I've loved watching her journey. She also just recently rank advanced to Diamond, which in a very quick pace. So I'm super excited to have her share with us what she's doing, how she shares her journey so authentically. So I will go ahead and pass it over to you, Haley.
Yikes. Okay, you're going to have to show me, how to share my screen and all of that stuff. I see this button.
In the bottom middle, there should be like a green button that says share screen. You see it?
Yes. Okay. Let's see if it works. Okay. Can you guys see it? Yes. Okay. So when Raquel was asking me, what I'm going to title my talk or what I'm going to talk about, I was really thinking hard about it. And I know that this is kind of a silly title, but that has a lot to do with what I'm going to talk about. So the talk is called Be Authentic in Your Hustle. And the reason I have named it that is because I think about this as kind of my side hustle for now. And the whole point of this is just going to be about being you. So be genuine, be honest, be you. And part of my personality is that I can be silly and ridiculous at some times. So that is kind of why I wanted it to have a silly title. So I wanted to start off talking just a little bit about my story, because some of you guys know and some of you don't. And so the reason why I think I've seen some success is because of how open I've been about my story. So I just wanted to start there. So almost 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Crohn's is an inflammatory bowel disease. It's autoimmune. And it was about 3 weeks of you guys hear Graham crying, sorry. It was about 3 weeks of differential diagnosis and me feeling like I was dying the whole time until they finally figured out what it was. And after I was diagnosed, I went through about 6 months of flares, meaning my symptoms would really flare up and I would be bedridden for a week. I missed a ton of work. And we went through 4 different medications. And all the prednisone. For those of you that don't know what prednisone is, it's just a steroid, but it is super effective for getting the job done, but it comes with some pretty terrible side effects. And one of those for me, the biggest one that I dealt with was weight gain and swelling. And so when you already are struggling with your weight and then you have that added to it, that's not fun. So it was about 6 months of me really feeling terrible all the time and trying to figure out medication, and we just couldn't find anything that worked. And kind of our last resort was a drug called Remicade, which is a pretty classic drug to use for Crohn's. And I started it, and within about 2 weeks, this was August of 2013, within about 2 weeks, I felt completely different. It was like changing my life. Everything was going to be great. My symptoms were gone. Like, this was the drug for me. Well, fast forward to March, I noticed one day I was looking in the mirror and I noticed that my eyes looked a little bit yellow. And so I called my doctor and I had to go get my liver function tested. And he called me back with the results of that about an hour later. And he said, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to go to the emergency room right now. I was like, what the heck? And turns out my liver enzymes were at insane levels. Like, normal liver function enzymes, your ALT and your AST are like 50 and below. And mine were 2,500 and 1,600. So it was scary. So I had to get off of Remicade because it caused autoimmune hepatitis. And it was toxifying my liver. And so this drug that was supposed to be healing me and like doing really great things for my Crohn's ended up causing even more. So I'm going to show you guys this picture. This is what I looked like when it was the worst. And so it's terrifying. It's not gross, so you don't have to worry about that, but it is scary. So ready? Those are my eyeballs. If you can see, they're obviously super yellow. So that's what happens. You've heard of babies getting jaundice, but this is what jaundice looks like in grown-ups. You can also see too a little bit on my neck. So I have makeup on my face, but my neck, you could tell it's a little bit yellow too. So that's kind of what it looked like. And, you know, side note, when you work at an elementary school and you have like yellow eyeballs, that that turns into some funny conversations. I had one little girl I was testing at school, and I, told her at the beginning, like, I'm okay, like I'm not contagious or anything, but I know that my eyes are yellow. And she just looks at me and she goes, "Can you turn any other color?" I was like, nope. But, and then like 30 minutes later, she looks at me and she goes, "I think if you wore yellow eyeshadow, it wouldn't look as bad." So that was fun. Anyway, so more on my journey. So after we figured out that it was the Remicade, we went, I had to get on more prednisone, so a super high dose of prednisone, which kind of just kept that ball of weight gain rolling. And then we finally figured out a medication that would be good for me, and I got about a year and a half, excuse me, a year and a half of symptom-free time until about a year ago. So January 2016, I was hospitalized. I went to the emergency room at like 3 a.m. because I woke up with excruciating pain in my hip, in my left hip. They did an x-ray and a CT, and they found a bunch of fluid in my hip, and so they referred me to a specialist, like an orthopedist. And he initially thought, like, you just injured it, because I'd been running quite a bit. And he was like, I think it's just an injury. Give it a few weeks. If it's not better, a few weeks, then come back and we'll do something. Well, it got better. It got a lot better. But then about a month later in February, I woke up in the middle of the night again, and I couldn't breathe. And so I went to the emergency room again, and it turns out that I had a pulmonary embolism, or a blood clot in my lung. And it actually almost killed me if I hadn't gone to the hospital. They said if I hadn't caught that within, a couple of hours, then it probably would have killed me. So, I started on blood thinners, and I had to be on blood thinners for about 6 months, because of that. And then after that happened, I was in bed for a bit because it just totally knocks you out when you have something like that. And my hip started to flare again. And then it started to move to the other side. And then it started to move to my knee. And I have crazy pictures. My left knee was like the size of a grapefruit. And this kind of started the process of differential diagnosis, where I had to go see a rheumatologist. I saw like 7 different specialists within the span of a month. It was pretty crazy. And so then I was diagnosed with something called spondyloarthritis, which is an autoimmune form of arthritis that's common in people with inflammatory bowel disease. And it got so bad that, and I made a post about this the other day with my leg lifted. I don't know if y'all saw that, but it got so bad that I had to move home for a month, and I would be laying in bed and I have to call my mom to come like move my legs to get out of bed, because I couldn't move my legs by myself. So crazy. And then the next month in April, I had noticed something on my leg, and I was going to the doctor, basically every week, twice a week. And I just was there for, all of this stuff. And I said, "Can you look at this thing on my leg? Like, I don't know what it is. I wonder if it's just like, I got a bite and it's not healing or something." It was not that. Turns out it's something called pyoderma gangrenosum. Whatever you do, do not Google that. It's really gross pictures. But basically what happens inside my colon with my Crohn's disease started happening on my leg. So it was a giant ulcer on my leg. And guess what? The only treatment for that is steroids. So I had to be on more prednisone. So I actually had to be on a dose that I'd never been on before, like 60 milligrams every day, which is insane. Most people, when they're diagnosed prednisone, they get like 5 or 10, maybe 20 at like the max. So 60. And this was just April of last year. So that's kind of my health history in a nutshell. But I want to talk about other things that kind of led to my decision to become a Beachbody coach and to even really start a challenge group in the first place. These are just some other factors that play into just my general well-being. So not only do I have all of that health stuff going on, I am single. I'm going to be 31 in 3 weeks, two and a half weeks, something like that. And, you know, being in your 30s and single is not something that anyone or most people don't foresee for their lives. It's certainly not what I thought was my life was gonna look like. God and I have had lots of chats about that. Money has always been a big issue for me. You can imagine with all those health issues that my medical bills are pretty crazy. I've also just proclaimed and not been good at managing my money in the past. And so that's been a huge burden for me as well. And then I've had a lifetime of weight struggles. I've felt like I was bigger than everyone since I was like 9 years old. Always struggled there. And all of that contributes to just, you know, pervasive unhappiness. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of things in my life that have super blessed me. Sorry, my dog. And there are most certainly happy and joyful times. But a lot of those things contributed to some unhappiness over the course of time, and specifically this summer and leading up to my my Beachbody situation. So I tell you all of that to say that everybody has a story, right? So that's my story specific to health, and then kind of the other factors that I was talking about. But this is the thing that has, they're okay. Look, the dogs are under my feet, y'all. They're fighting. But everybody has a story, and my story has 1000% influenced how I run my business. It influences what I post on Facebook, how I talk to people, and all of that. So we're going to get a little bit more specific. But this is important because this is what pushes you. So you might have these goals of, you know, being a certain rank or making a certain amount of money, but that in and of itself is not going to be enough to push you to do all of the things that you need to do to move your business forward. Your why, your story is what's going to motivate you. So for me, I started, so I'll just go into here. I started my first challenge group with Rachel. Johnstone is my coach. Side note, it takes all of my brain power to say Johnstone and not Lynn. I've known Rachel since we were like 12, and I can't, Johnstone. So I started on October 3rd in my first challenge group with her after having told her no a few times because of money. So I started that, and about 2 weeks in, my why for me kind of clicked. I realized that I was tired of living in a body and in a financial situation that didn't reflect who I was. I have struggled with my body for so long, just weight-wise, and then in the last 4 years, health-wise, getting so angry with my body and frustrated that this is the body that I was given. When I see a million different people, I'm getting emotional, sorry. A million different people never have any issue, right? Like never have any health issues their whole life. And I get all of these, you know, so it was hard. And so about 2 weeks into that challenge, I decided like, I might not be able to control what happens to my body, but I'm going to do everything in my power to keep it functioning where it is. So if there's something that I can do to contribute to my health, I'm going to do it. And so that's when it kind of clicked for me. And then I honestly knew immediately that I was going to coach. You know, Rachel had been talking to me about it, and I kind of played hard to get a little bit, but I knew as soon as I was in the challenge group and saw what she did. And I mean, you can ask Rachel, I was pretty active in the challenge group as well. And there was this one moment where I was like, I'm basically running this group. No offense. I was like, I'm posting every day, like what she's doing this and I'm doing the same thing. That I could do this. I could totally do this. And so I went to, the live business, live Facebook business invite thing. And I signed up that night. That was like October 21st. And it was because I really thought that I could do it. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit. I posted these all on Facebook, but I wanted to show you guys some of my transformation pictures. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I struggled so much with the decision about whether or not to post these. I actually was having a conversation with one of my pastors about all of the things that were going in my head. If I post this, am I doing it because I want people to like recognize how well I've done? Am I posting it because I want people to, be a customer and so I can make money? Or am I really posting it because I want people to know what this could do? And I prayed through that a lot. And that's, I'm getting confused by things. Oh, Trisha, you're so nice. I was like, what's happening? Something's blinking. So I finally decided that this was important to share with people because, and as you guys all know, they're not going to know that this is real and that this works and that this could actually change your life unless they see it and not see this random person, on the television that it could be photoshopped for all you know, but me, who they work with every day, or they're, in small group with at church, or they coach with in baseball or whatever. This is me. They know me. This is my story. And that's motivating to people and it's encouraging. So, okay. Next one, maybe. Okay, so that being said, story-wise, now how do you take all of that and turn it into momentum? As Raquel said, I did have a lot of success points last month, and to be totally honest with you guys, that was like crazy to me that happened. She texted me with how many I ended up with, and I hadn't looked yet, and I was like, that's not real. Like, that, are you, for what? And I think part of that had to do with the all access stuff, but this is what I do. And, we were talking earlier, everybody does this differently. Everybody runs their business differently, but this is what I do. So like I've been talking about, I'm trying really hard to focus on my journey first. So Beachbody talks a lot about how, you need to be a proof of the product. That for me is part of it, but I am not going to be able, I work in mental health. So like, I know that I can't counsel people unless I've been counseled. I can't help people unless I'm being helped. You can't care for people unless you're caring for yourself. It's like that whole oxygen on the airplane analogy. You've got to put yours on first before you can put it on the kid next to you. So focus on your journey first. The second one is listen to your coach. And I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. This might seem silly, but literally every single thing that Rachel told me to do, I did. So every single thing that Raquel told me to do, I did. Every single thing that Raquel told Rachel to do, I did that too. So your coach is there for that. Your upline is a Team VIP. We're here to help each other. That's what I love about this business, is that if I do well, you do well, and vice versa. And so we're all here to, do it as a team. But do it. They know what they're talking about. Okay. So do what your coach says, and use your resources. I cannot tell you how many hours I've spent on the Team VIP Google Drive reading everything. And I use it every single day. So there is so much there. Use it. And you have to figure out a way to organize yourself. I went through a few different things before I found something that helped. And Rachel and I talk about this all the time, but I get so excited about Beachbody. Like, I wake up and I want to do it. I go to sleep thinking about it. I think about it in the shower. It's like so exciting to me. And so I've really had to set some boundaries for myself of this is when I'm going to work on it and this is when I'm not. But you have to organize yourself in some way. And you have to let go of your fear. You guys, I went through, because of everything I've dealt with, and just this is kind of the person that I am through my whole life, I am such a people pleaser, and I care so much about what other people think of me to a fault. I mean, a lot of inadequacy comes from that. I have this major approval idol. It's like giant. And so that makes me hesitate a lot before I post something about, what are people going to think? That first time I posted a transformation picture, I was like losing my mind. I needed like, oxygen mask or something. It was so scary. But I have found that the posts that I post that get the most traction and the most business come out of it are the ones that were scary for me to post. When in doubt, the last one is do more. So I know that this might not be feasible for everybody, but initially when I started and I learned about the Power of Threes tracker, and it said, invite 3 people every day. I invited 30 people every day because I was like, I need to do more. I need to grow this from the beginning. I listened to what's his face? Craig Holiday, his series. And he talks all about, your first 90 days being really important, and setting, if you want to build this business, you need to build it in 90 days and setting yourself up for success. And so that's what I set out to do. I was like, I'm going to invite every single person that I know. And just a note on that, something that I realized, because I found myself hesitating when I was inviting certain people, is you cannot assume how somebody is going to respond to you. If you don't invite somebody because you think they're going to say no to you, you've made the decision for them without giving them the chance to say yes. You don't know where people are. All we see on Facebook is what people choose to show us. And I am living proof of that, because if you looked at the challenge groups that I run, the people that I have in my groups are not the people that I would have thought would have said yes to me. So don't make the decision for them. Just invite. And invite all the people. It's just, I have that in my notes, invite all the people. And okay, so I just wanted to show you a couple of things. Don't reinvent the wheel. This thing on the top, the weekly post, Genevieve showed us this a week ago. Guess what I've been doing all week? That. This is the Power of Threes that I edited a little bit because I wanted to invite more than just 3 people every day. And so this is mine from this week. This is my actual tracker. I just snipped it and put it in here today. So there are things that exist already. Use them. All right. I'm going to show you guys really quick a document that I created that is not probably going to make any sense to anybody else, but this is my Future Challengers document, and I have it's just kind of a way to for me to keep track of people. And so like right now, I'm starting preseason tomorrow with a group. The people in white are the ones that are officially in there. The people in blue are ones that I've talked to. And so they're probably going to get bumped because it's starting tomorrow and they haven't really responded yet. And then I've got one that I'm following up with. I just followed up with her today, actually. And so this is just kind of a way for me to keep my mind. And you guys can see my tabs up here. I have 1,000 tabs open on my computer at all times because I'm constantly going back. Like here's my Power of Threes. And then here's my weekly posts. And I'm just, back and forth. And I have like 7 tabs of Facebook open because I keep them on different pages, my messages, my team VIP, just whatever. So, hold on. How do I get back to that? Okay. So, I'm wrapping up. I wanted to show you guys though. Can y'all still see me if you're seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is something this is my new journal. Look how cute it is, you guys. So I found this at Lux and I'm obsessed with it. But this is something that works for me. I needed something to keep track of all my stuff that's not electronic. I am pretty electronic, minded. I really enjoy things on my phone and on the computer. But this has really helped me for like goal setting. And so this is just because it's got graph paper and I really enjoy that. So find stuff that makes it fun for you and that you can really enjoy using while you're hustling. And then the last thing I wanted to show you guys, this is my vision board that I just finished making. There's kind of a lot more to it, but I wanted to show you this because this all comes back right to your why. So your story and your why is what motivates you. And if you have goals, they're only going to be met by staying true to that why and your story. And so, for example, this little cutie up on the top right, this is a little girl named Just Scary. She lives in the Dominican Republic, and I sponsor her to go to school. And I have a goal for this year that I want to write her a letter every month. I want to be better about my sponsorship. And so I want to write her a letter every month. But this I went through Lindsay Matway's vision board thing last week. And I just kept hearing over and over from her, like, you need to have these goals posted everywhere around you to remind you. And I think that really ties back to what I've been talking about. Keep your why and your motivation and your story at the forefront of your mind all the time when you're talking to people. Because that is really what's going to keep you going when all of the things get hard, when you're like, oh my gosh, if I have to take another selfie of myself and post it on Facebook, I'm going to go insane. Or like, I don't want to send another invite because I'm tired of, whatever. This is what will keep you going. If I remember, like, for example, I don't want to work out or I don't want to eat right or whatever, and I remember that why of I am tired of living in a body that doesn't reflect who I am, that's what keeps me going. Not necessarily wanting to be debt free. It's that keeps me going. So this is just to end. I'm sorry I went over. But don't live somebody else's journey. If there's one piece of advice I could give you, I love this quote. It's better to live your own life imperfectly than to be a perfect imitation of someone else's life. We all bring different things to the table, and some challengers are going to be drawn to you. Some are going to be drawn to me. Some are going to be drawn to Raquel, whoever, based on the type of journey that they're on. And the only way that you can lead people is by being true to yourself and being authentic in your own journey. So, I think that's all I have. I feel like I was a little bit all over the place, but that's the end. What? Can I answer a question? Are there like chat things happening? Oh, okay. Y'all are so nice.
Haley, that was so good. I do feel like, I know it's hard to share your story. Anytime you post a transformation picture, it's scary, and you just share it so openly and raw, I think. And the more raw and real you are, I think that's what's really pulls people in to like want to cheer you on, and want to follow your story. And like you said, to show that, it's working for you and not just some infomercial people that they don't know. Two things that stood out to me. The Craig Holiday series, you guys, it's in the file section of Team VIP. If you have not yet listened to that, I encourage you to do that. They're actually like audio. I have put them on my iTunes and listened to them, but now they have actually made them a YouTube series. So you can actually go to YouTube, and they're on VIP as well. Definitely encourage you. That should be your personal development. If it's just awesome. Craig Holiday is awesome. And then the other thing that just stood out to me when you said, when in doubt, do more. That is it right there. Like, that is money. That is so true. Instead of doing 3 invites, which you could have, and eventually you would have had success in people, you invited 30 a day. And so I think that's just awesome. I love that. I'm going to remind myself that when in doubt, do more. Love that. Anyone else have any questions, comments? Jen?
Yeah, so good. You had me crying there for a second. I wasn't sure if I needed to like step aside. So, I really, had no idea. So thank you for being so open, with everything. But what I do want to say is, you mentioned the speed for, your first 90 days. And I think that's so good. So I guess, would be my question for like new coaches and whatever, I don't think you mentioned this, from the time you started, how long did it take you to get to, emerald and then diamond, like weeks wise? I think that's just really interesting.
Yeah. So Rachel, you might have to help me here. So my first 2 weeks that I was a coach, I didn't do anything. I just was kind of discount coaching. I knew I was going to coach. I didn't sign up just to be a discount coach, but it was kind of like, I'm learning all these things. I'm reading all the emails and, so those first 2 weeks I don't really count because I didn't actively do anything. But Rachel, do you remember when I hit Emerald? I don't remember when I hit Emerald.
Yeah, I'm looking through right now. I believe it was, here it is, on Thursday, December 8th. So what, about 6 weeks?
Yeah, so 6 weeks from when I started.
But then 4 weeks later, you hit diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was you went diamond in 11 weeks. And then if you did nothing for those first 2 weeks, you did the business for 9 weeks and hit diamond at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday night.
Snaps. That's so awesome. That's so good. I just wanted other people to know, because I kind of knew it was fast, but I just didn't know if other people realized that's awesome. And it just shows that, you really, you can do it. Because I think sometimes people build up diamond, I just don't know if I can do it. But you just put in the work and did it.
Yeah, I would say, I think one thing for me is what I've learned is that if you want to do it, you're going to do it. When I started, I was I'm going to do this. And when I started seeing what the potential is for this business, I'm I'm doing that. If these people can do it, I can do this. And I'm going to do it. And so, yeah, if you want it, you'll do it.
One thing that I love about watching your journey on Facebook is your live videos. And you cover everything. Your weight loss, your random crazy funny stuff, and just coaching. And even when you hit Emerald, you came on and talked about it, what that meant in a really real and genuine, non-salesy way. And same thing with Shakeology too. And I know your Shakeology why is so strong. Yeah. And I remember that's what you said, this is actually what I'm trying this for, the Shakeology. Mm-hmm. But your live videos are so great. And I think so many of us, are so scared of doing live videos. And I even remember when I first started doing some of mine, it was just kind of putting information out there. But what's so great about what you do is you can see your emotion and your personality and your passion for everything in your videos. So then when you're reaching out to people or you're following up with them, they can already, hear your voice. They already know where you come from because it's so apparent in all of your videos that you do. And you're really, really consistent with them.
Sometimes I just do them because I'm lazy and I don't want to write.
But that's good. That's better.
So I'll just go to video.
Your call was so great.
Oh, thank you.
Really, really good. And you're so authentic with everything, with sharing your whole journey. And you're I always knew you'd be a great coach. But you're a really great coach.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yes. Well, thank you again, Haley. That was awesome. One of the things that we want to start doing is that our top coaches of the month, we'll probably have them present the second week of the following month because obviously y'all are doing stuff. And I feel we can all learn from each other no matter where we are in the business, how long we've been in the business. I feel I took away so many things. So thank you. Thank you again, Haley. Loved it. I will post the recording. I encourage you, any of your coaches that missed it, encourage them to pop in and check it out. Also, we have a new coach boot camp starting tomorrow. I will post the link in Team VIP. We never take anyone out of that group. So you can stay in and participate. And if you need feedback of a challenge group invite, that's what it's there for. We're there to help you. So encourage you, if you have any new coaches, to put them in the new coach boot camp, join it with them, and then just check in to make sure that they are following along with it. Sound good?
Don't forget we have a live event on Thursday. So business opportunity call 8:30 p.m. on Thursday. Feel free to invite your peeps. You are also more than welcome to be hosting your own. Don't feel you need to invite to ours, but if you're not doing one on your own, please feel free to invite your prospects to ours, but just make sure that you're there too so that they see you engaging as their future coach. And Haley, you did an amazing, amazing job. I thought you did so great. And literally, I hope that everyone took this away. she got Success Club 47 not because she's a freak, but because she just put in the work. So it's so like, I love when you said, like, if you want something, you're going to do it. Like, there was no like magic little fairy that came down. Like, she just was like, this is going to happen. Here I go. Truck. And like, literally, if you do that, you're going to have the same result. I wasn't sending out 30 invites a day, and I didn't hit Success Club 47. So there's that. But I love it. It's simple. It's honest, but there is no magic secret. It's like, you do it or you don't. That was so good. So good. But yeah, just don't forget about the live event. Y'all have a great day.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.